quintessential lady. We call her the quintessential lady herself, Sika Goka, founder of SG Etiquette Consulting. A round of applause for her, please. And Sika is going to be speaking to us about etiquette, about the importance of etiquette, and simply put, about the 21st century lady. Yes?
On invite Sika qui va nous montrer, va nous parler de son parcours et va nous raconter un peu de son métier, que c'est des coachs en étiquette et savoir-vivre. Donc Sika, bienvenue, ton public t'attend.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Bonjour. It's great to be in France. Even better to be in Paris, such a beautiful city. Anyone who knows me, my name is Sika Goka. I'm a hospitality consultant as well as an etiquette coach. And I have been part of the Women of Valour brand for the last 3 years. So naturally, when Anamoah invited me back again to Paris, I jumped at the chance to be in this vibrant and beautiful city. So, as it was just mentioned, I will be speaking about being a lady. You heard Natalie refer to me as a quintessential lady, and that is about one of the classes that I actually teach. I like everything traditional and everything quintessential. But this year, you know, I wanted to tie it to what the 21st century lady really, really looks like and the embodiment of that. So, in order to talk about that, I thought that we should really just sort of understand what the 21st century represents, what are the things that have changed, so that we can look at the evolution of a lady from where she began and where she is today. So when I think about the 21st century, I think about things like environmental awareness. We now have information that tells us about climate change and how that's affecting us today. We also think about sustainability and how we should really be looking after the environment that we have been blessed to be in so that we can protect it for future generations. I also sometimes think about the cultural shifts that are happening. For instance, there's been a huge social movement when we think about human rights. When we talk about the rights of women, when we talk about race rights, when we talk about gender inequality, when it comes to pay and those sorts of things. And we have so much more information about that. We also have now and also recognize that there are diverse identities and that in our every single day lives that we should be mindful about the things that people are going through. The other thing I think about also is globalization of the world. We have now become so interconnected thanks to things like social media. We also have an awareness of what's going on in other parts of the world, and we can relate to it without ever having flown over there. We have so much more information at our fingertips. But most significantly, I think that there has been technological innovation that has brought us so much information, but made life so much easier. When we think about things like artificial intelligence and biotechnology, we're rapidly growing, we're rapidly changing, but we have access to information that can seriously impact us. When I was thinking about what Mami said, you know, positioning yourself, how you use social media to create awareness. These are the things that we should be thinking about to enable us to be able to push forward in this new 21st century. So then naturally, it takes me back to what really is a lady. Well, if we think about the traditional lady, I'm sure we all associate her with meekness, gentility. She's probably well-dressed. She's got good interpersonal skills. She's likable, very, very personable. And just like the modern lady, they have certain things in common that haven't really changed. For instance, they are always ready and prepared. Now, the previous lady, probably from the 20th century, was being groomed for a special role. A lot of the time, she probably knew how to speak more than one language. She may have even learned how to play an instrument. And she was very, very good with being able to have conversations because she was well-read. Now, that hasn't really changed, but her role and the reason for her preparedness was probably because she was getting ready to be somebody's wife and a mother. Still a very significant role today, probably one of the most significant roles any woman would play, to be a wife and a mother, but that's really where the dream sort of ended. In the modern world, in the 21st century, The lady is preparing herself for a type of independence. I'm sure that's what we all think about when we think about 21st century woman, independence. Not the type of independence that says we don't need men or that we are some ultra-feminists, but more about the fact that we're independent in our minds, in the way that we think. We're able to earn our own money. We're able to rise to the top in our businesses, in our industries. We're able to be CEOs and hold very, very significant roles in commerce and even as entrepreneurs. Lastly, the modern lady, just like the previous lady, will do things. She's constantly updating herself, whether she's putting her resources into learning. She's going to university, she's joining courses, she's learning how to position herself to be ready for whatever opportunities may come. And so that's what I think about the connection between the previous lady. We did the same things, we had good interpersonal skills, but we were focused on a different goal, ultimately. So, what did the 21st century give us that the modern lady can use? Well, one of the main things that I think has come out of innovation is social media. The difference is that the 21st century lady knows that she should use social media, but she should not be used by it. And what do I mean by that? Well, we got to think about the contents that we put out there. It's very, very important to use this tool to reach new audiences that we would normally not be able to attract and be able to reach. So we should use it, especially when we're entrepreneurs, to find people, to let them know about the products and services that we offer. But what we should always do is be circumspect about the content that we put online. The 21st century lady knows that there is such a thing as a digital footprint. So what you put down is always going to be there, even if you think you've deleted it. And what if you wanted to be a mayor one day of a huge city like this, or even, you know, a president or a prime minister? Everything that you do stays, and it's what people will use to judge you. So you have to allow yourself to be very, very intentional about the content that you put out there. And that's what a 21st century lady does. She uses it to her own advantage, but she will dictate what she puts up there, so that she's creating the narrative of what she wants people to resonate with when it comes to any idea about her. The other thing about the 21st century lady is that she's great at using her network to build herself up. Once again, she's extremely intentional about the sorts of things that she does in her spare time and the people that she associates herself with. Because of social media, once again, she's able to reach an audience that goes way beyond her environs. But she's able to make connections that will allow her to propel herself. She thinks about people and she sees how she can align herself with knowledge and innovation and help and advancement. She's not sitting down in circles, gossiping with her friends, but she's constantly thinking about being ready for the next opportunity. She's extremely adept at making friends, and she's extremely well-read, so she's able to have good conversations with people from all over the world because she's paying attention to everything. Even down to the environment, she does her little bit. Whether she's extremely circumspect about some of the brands that she even associates herself with, the things that she chooses to buy, the sort of makeup that she chooses to put on. She would always want to align herself with a company that thinks about the environment, even when it comes to drinking coffee. So she'll also do little things in her house, recycle, reuse, rather than constantly be acquiring things and creating rubbish. She's thinking about the environment. So the modern lady, the 21st century lady, is extremely goal-oriented. She also has independence of mind. She doesn't just follow the flock. She thinks about the information that's going to go in her head and how she can impart good information to other people as well. She's constantly on a journey of improving herself with education and just aligning herself with the right people who will open the right doors for her. When I think about every single one of the panelists here, I think about the 21st century lady. I was very inspired by your story, Mami, and I'm sure we're going to hear more from the rest of the panelists today. When I think about the 21st century lady, I think about somebody who has the audacity of courage, the audacity to dream big, the audacity to fight in face of adversity, the audacity to be able to push and have your voice heard, even when people are saying that you cannot do something, to have that inner self-belief. And that's what we're all about here today. So I just want to take this opportunity to encourage us all once again and to think about our futures. You know, the idea of being a lady, it isn't an archaic notion. Yes, it's nice to know how to walk, how to sit, how to do all of those things, but being able to build a personal brand that people will respect and admire is also truly inspiring. And being able to impart knowledge and just be kind to people. So many people are facing so many challenges today, especially with mental health, and having awareness of people's struggles and being able to give them a sympathetic ear and to engage them with compassion is also truly the mark of a 21st century lady. Thank you.